So how many years altogether did you live in the U.S.?
That's almost 19 years.
19 years.
Yes, I have a wife, kids. I have one daughter is 4 years and one boy is 4 months old. I left over there.
You have a 4-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old son.
Yes, I left there.
And they're in with your wife in the U.S.
Yes, and I'm scared because now with Trump they say they have to go with a criminal, but we're not a criminal.
But you have a trespassing conviction?
Yes, but to me it's not like that. About
To you, it's not as serious a crime.
yes, I'm not.
So what now? Where do you go, Fidel?
Now I have to go with my mom and my dad.
They live here.
Yeah,
Are you going to try to stay here? Or do you think you'll go back?
I have to go back for sure.
You'll find a way back.
Yes.
You may soon see protesters near Trump Tower in downtown Chicago. This is a counter-inauguration protest that's been rescheduled for today after we saw that bitter cold temperature earlier this week. Our Asal Razai is live for us this morning. And Asal, they're speaking out against 2 of President Trump's policies.
Yeah, Marissa, that's right. And it's being called the March on Trump Tower. Protesters plan to call for a stop to deportations and weapons to Israel. It's all being planned by the People's March for Justice, a coalition of more than 60 organizations. They plan to focus on immediate aid for Gaza. They also plan to speak out against building walls and closing borders to refugees. It comes after President Trump signed an executive order this week suspending refugee admissions in the U.S. We know just yesterday the government started using military aircrafts to deport migrants. It's all part of the promises President Trump made in his campaign with plans to heavily crack down on immigration. It's something protesters here in Chicago plan to rally against today, starting at noon at Water Tower Park. Live in the newsroom, I'm Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
We'll be following. Asal, thank you so much.
President Trump's plan for a nationwide deportation crackdown is playing out, with the White House lauding its success after nearly 1,000 arrests in one day.
Here in the city, immigration advocates are scrambling to offer legal advice and emotional support to people who now say they are terrified of being deported. From Denver to Chicago to Newark, immigration officials say ICE agents made 956 arrests on Sunday alone. And while New York City immigration officials say they've seen no significant uptick in ICE enforcement here, that does little to quiet fears.
We're scared. We feel as though we're not safe. We don't know what's going to happen. There's panic, there's chaos.
33-year-old Sarahi Marquez has lived on Staten Island since she was 6 years old. She's a DACA recipient from Mexico whose family owns 2 businesses that employ 20 people, mostly immigrants.
I don't know if I myself would be deported, if all my staff would be deported. We don't know. We're scared, we're nervous, but I'm here to show you guys that I'm an immigrant and I'm here and I'm trying to follow all the rules.
Within days of taking office, President Trump signed an executive order reversing the constitutionally protected right of birthright citizenship, deployed ICE agents across the country to carry out his campaign promise of mass deportations, and opened the door for ICE agents to conduct raids at previously protected places like schools and houses of worship.
The idea of a classmate being snatched in the middle of the day, or someone being taken from the bus stop, or a child's parent being taken from the playground is traumatic for everyone.
Immigration advocates say people across the city are now afraid that any law enforcement officer could be an ICE agent.
This administration is hell-bent on ensuring that they maximize their cruelty. The intent has always been and will continue to be chaos and panic. And on that, they are succeeding in this moment. Our best defense in this moment is people knowing their rights. Stay calm. Don't lie. Remain silent. Don't consent to the search. And if they show up to your door, do not open the door without a judicial warrant.
The president's executive order on birthright citizenship has already been shot down by a federal judge who called it blatantly unconstitutional. Even so, some immigrants in the country legally say they have no assurance they won't be targeted for deportation.
This is, in some ways, a big show.
That's how Texas Democrat Representative Joaquin Castro sums up the nationwide immigration roundup.
I think that people generally agree if you have a convicted felon they should be deported.
On that, there is bipartisan agreement,
If they are indeed criminals, yeah, they're going to be shipped back to their country of origin.
including how that's done.
Look, everybody should be treated with dignity. Everybody should be treated the right way.
But it's the scope and speed that's concerning.
What Donald Trump is doing now is that he's causing chaos rather than addressing those things.
They're going after people who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs, who may have been here for a decade or 2 decades.
Illinois is one of several states and territories where the operations are underway.
I had a 4-year-old crying, fearing deportation.
The state's Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights says a hotline to report possible ICE sightings has been ringing nonstop since Sunday's blitz began. Likewise for another such hotline in Arizona.
We've been getting a lot of calls, text messages about different possible raids.
Residents here, like those in other targeted cities, are fearful it's not just criminals the agents will handcuff.
It's a wide net seemingly being casted, and inevitably you'll have effects of racial profiling and upsetting a community that would otherwise collaborate with law enforcement.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
He wants the president to let his wife stay in this country. He tells me their 11-year wedding anniversary is on Friday and that his wife was in the process of getting her citizenship. This is an exclusive first look at one of many ICE raids happening in South Florida Sunday. This one happening in the neighborhood of Brownsville.
They went up in there and did whatever they wanted. They turned off the cameras, excuse my language, and then they took my wife.
This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only 1 minute and 52 seconds long, we do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Vianis Ramirez, and he says she was in the process of becoming a United States citizen.
She already had a court date. She was good. Everything's good. He just came and they snatched her.
These are pictures from the Department of Homeland Security detaining other undocumented men and women in Broward County.
It's despicable what they're doing right now. It's very embarrassing.
President Donald Trump arrived at his Trump National Golf Resort in Doral Saturday, set to host GOP leaders for a conference. This man hopes this message makes it to him.
If I get a chance to talk to you, man, yo, please, man, let's work something out. So you, man, let me keep my wife here in the United States, man. She deserves to be here, man.
ICE reports nearly 1,000 raids in the country on Sunday alone, which is up from just under 300 on Saturday. Here at the detention center in Miramar, things have been quiet for several hours, but we will continue to monitor this situation and bring you the developing news on raids in South Florida as they happen. In Miramar, I'm Chelsea Jones, CBS News, Miami.
Actually, in these past 2 weeks, it's been very active. We've been getting a lot of calls, text messages about different possible raids.
Melina Arellano says false reports of raids in the valley have infused fear.
A lot of uncertainty, right? Like, what is next? What's going to happen?
She works for Puente, a community organization providing resources to the immigrant community.
So here we have updates of executive orders.
They've launched a hotline to report and alert people of any ICE raids taking place in the valley.
They call in, report if they see any ICE ratings in their communities, and really to spread out the word so our community is safe. Make sure a lot of our community does not get deported, so just keeping them safe is our #1 priority.
Just moments after being sworn in, President Trump vowed to carry out the mass deportations he promised during the campaign.
The worst part is that we don't know who they're going to detain. We are all at risk, regardless if we are criminals or not.
This woman, who's lived in the U.S. nearly 30 years without documentation, says she's changed up her routine this week.
Like today, I wanted to go to the store, but now I'm not going to go out anymore because I don't want to go out anymore.
What options do we have, or what are we going to do about it, or how that's going to impact everyone?
Karen Mireles is another Valley resident who says even though she's a citizen, she fears raids and threat of deportation.
Like me as a parent, like, do I feel safe taking my kid to school? Do I feel safe that they're going to protect our children?
For now, no one knows if raids will happen in the valley, but Puente says they'll be ready if it happens.
we are going to take care of each other.
Arellano says if they are alerted of a raid, one of their members will go, serve as a witness, and offer any help that they can. Brenda Lipinski, 12 News.